If you got nothing, yeah, I think.
If that's not included in the video, I swear. Stop it. Okay. Hey, you guys. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing the college decision video with my best friend Ava. We both applied. Well, I applied to 7 schools and we're only including 6 of mine. She applied to 9 schools and we only applied 6, included 6 of hers because I'm cheap and I didn't want to buy a bunch of cupcakes. So today we are pretty much just going to be announcing where we are going to college. Everyone knows for me, no one knows for her. So I got the inside scoop. Okay, so I took 7 AP classes in high school. I got a 1510 on my SAT that I took 3 times, and weighed, it was too many, and I only went down each time, so I had a 4.86 on a weighted GPA, but it would have been higher. I was a transfer student. So my GPA got messed up because my 2 schools use different systems. I have a cumulative GPA of a 3.67 in high school, so I'm a straight AB student with 1 or 2 C's there. I am not going to say my ACT score just because personally I'm not a great test taker and I'm very ashamed of my score. I did theater all throughout high school, and I was a intern at a political consulting company. The first college that I applied to was University of Iowa. I don't know where in Iowa this is. I never ended up visiting this school. So this was the first school I applied to. I applied because I heard that you find out within 48 hours, and I just wanted to hear that I got into one school. So that was why I applied there. The second school that I applied to, ooh, it's in the back. The second school I applied to was Western Michigan University because they have a great theater program. I have a lot of friends who are going there this year, and then a couple of friends who are already there. So I applied to there mainly because I know a lot of people. The next one I did was DePaul University in Chicago, Illinois. I applied as an elementary education major. I applied there because my mom went there, so I'm a legacy. And it's the only school actually in my home state that I applied to. The next one I applied to is Michigan State University. Also got in here, I got into DePaul in Western Michigan and Iowa, by the way. So I got into Michigan State University. I applied as an elementary education major. I applied there mainly just because my mom wanted me to look at a school that was outside of my state but still somewhat close to home. And then these are my top 2. The next school that I applied to was University of Kentucky. I applied there because I loved the location of Lexington, Kentucky. Greek life was really good there. Sports were really good there, and also their education program's really good. And then my other one is University of Colorado at Boulder. I applied as an elementary education major with an emphasis in special education. I did this because I love Colorado. I grew up going there. I love the state. I did not apply there because they legalized marijuana. No matter how many times people say I did. Exposed.
Nope. And also I've always loved Colorado, so I really just applied there because of how much I fell in love with the school when I met it 1 year ago. So yeah, I got into all 6 of those. I did not get rejected from any college.
This is a quick PSA because I'm editing the video right now. I do not mean to rub it into anybody's faces when I say I got accepted into all my colleges. I got accepted because my grades were a lot more above a majority of the averages for the schools that I applied to. So me getting in was kind of a given. A lot of my schools were fallback schools, and I didn't really apply to any reach. So I'm not meaning any offense by me saying that I didn't get rejected.
The first college I knew I was applying to was Sarah Lawrence. I visited over the summer and I absolutely fell in love with their program. So I am going into animation. That's what I applied for. I applied for filmmaking and moving image arts. I did get into Sarah Lawrence. It was one of the first schools I found out. The second school I applied to was Chapman University, the Dodge College of Film and Media Arts.
Which is in the top 10 film colleges in the country, you guys. She didn't know that until after she got in.
Yes, I got into Dodge. I applied early action.
Eating one of these.
I was pretty surprised that I didn't find out until later that it was such a good film school, because again, I did research. I did a lot of research. I just didn't do the right research until after I had applied. I applied here, Brown, which was my only Ivy. It's the most artsy of the Ivies, and that's why I picked it.
Even though Columbia has a better film program.
Yes, but I picked Brown because I thought the student body would fit me better. I had never visited Brown, and I did get rejected, unfortunately. Then I applied to Smith, which was a consortium in Massachusetts, and I applied because, again, they're a really good liberal arts school, so they have the arts aspect. I really love their consortium program. I could take classes at UMass and Amherst and Vassar and all those. I did get in. I got in early, actually, which was really nice, and yeah. And of course, if you're going into film, you have
to apply to USC.
Yeah, I applied straight to the School of Cinematic Arts, which, again, as I told you, probably wasn't a smart choice.
It was a huge mistake.
I didn't take the classes or have the portfolio that could have gotten me in, so I got rejected. And the last school is Loyola Marymount. I applied because I had too many reach schools on my list. My college counselor...
And that was the settle school for her, you guys.
That was my safety. My college counselor at my school literally told me, you're not going to get into any of these colleges. You need a safety. And it was really hard to hear that because
she was wrong.
I got into 4 of the schools I applied to, so it was hard to hear, like, you're not going to get in. So I picked Loyola Marymount and their film school, of course, and I didn't realize they were top 10 either until
I came along.
Until after. So, I mean, I guess I'm incredibly grateful and lucky that I had gotten in to Loyola Marymount.
Oh yeah, no, fun fact real quick for you guys. I've always wanted to go into film, but I knew that if I applied straight into a film school, I wouldn't get in because my portfolio isn't at its peak right now. So I applied as an elementary education major. And now that I'm committed and like I'm safe, I can say this out loud. I am planning on changing my major. I applied as an elementary educator mainly because I knew I wanted to do it, but I kind of just like came to the wonderful life-altering realization that I wanted to do something else after I had already applied. So my top 3 were University of Colorado at Boulder, Michigan State University, and University of Kentucky.
And my top 3 were Chapman,
Balanced on my
Sarah Lawrence, and Smith.
Okay, so from the first one that I eliminated from my top 3 is Michigan State University. Again, for the main reason why Iowa, Western Michigan, and DePaul. It's too close to home for me. I really wanted to get out of the Midwest. It's an amazing school. It's actually, I think, the hardest school I applied to, so it was probably the biggest deal that I got in there. I also got a scholarship from them, but at the end of the day, I think I just decided that it wasn't really the right fit for me. I wasn't a huge fan of Lansing when I went there, so yeah, no, my top 2 are Boulder and Kentucky.
So it was really hard to choose between my top 3, I'm going to be honest, because people think having more choices is good. It really isn't.
It's not.
Because then you have like the potential for more regrets later on, like what if. So every school I got into, I did get the presidential scholarship, so which varied by school. So the first school I decided out of my top 3 not to go to was Smith. They were the least involved in animation, but it was the most prestigious school that I got into. So financially, it wasn't the most feasible choice for me. And it was just a lot of that, but they did make it clear that they wanted me, which was really incredibly touching that a school this prestigious would even want me. So it was really hard to say no.
My top 2 was Colorado Boulder and University of Kentucky.
Sarah Lawrence and Chapman.
So this was super hard for me to decide, not gonna lie, because there were so many positives and negatives for each one of the schools. For me, Colorado's really far from home, and while I want to get away, I don't want to get away to the point that like I never get to see my family. And Kentucky's a little bit closer. It's a car drive away, where this is a plane ride away. But I really fell in love with Kentucky when I saw it for the first time. The dorm rooms were probably one of the nicest things I've seen in my life. They have separate rooms inside the dorm room, which was it was a huge plus because I'm a huge like introvert the majority of the time. So it's like nice to have kind of a place to run back to. And also I really loved Kentucky because in Lexington, the campus is, if you go 1 mile north, you're in the city. 1 mile south, you're in the middle of nowhere, which is kind of like the sum up of my life. And then with Boulder, it's just like, it's Colorado. Everyone always told me whenever I talked about Boulder, I kind of lit up. Is that true?
That's true.
It's just like, it's been my dream school probably since around halfway through high school. I really love the school that I ended up choosing. So that's my reasons for my top 2.
So my list changed a lot throughout high school. You will find that will happen as you change what you want to do. Oh my gosh, your list goes through so much. So I really found out about these 2 like within the past year and a half. So it was a lot of last minute research. I loved Sarah Lawrence's campus. They repeatedly reached out to me when I got my acceptance letter. There was a handwritten note from the president on there referencing my essay, which was incredible. They clearly they reached out all the time. I loved Sarah Lawrence's attention and their program. I loved how their classes worked. You don't have a major, you have a focus, I think it is, and you don't even have to take gen eds, which I was like, oh. They also gave me a $20,000 a year scholarship or $25,000 a year. It was pretty good. And then Chapman, I didn't fall in love with the campus when I first went there, but the more research I did after, I love their programs. Their campus is really beautiful. I just didn't visit the right places. When I got accepted, they sent me a big folder and everything, and I got $32,000 a year from Chapman, which was the most that I was offered from any school. So it was a really big draw. Their film program, best in like 6th in the nation. This school would let me study away at Cal Arts, #1 animation school in the nation. So it was like,
the place that Ava committed to is...
It's so competitive. I can't believe I got in. Wait, that says congratulations, right? That's like confetti.
No,
right?
they did the confetti because you got denied. Sorry, Ava, you did not get in.
Oh my gosh. I had a dream that they were like confetti, but then they were like, psych, you didn't get in. Chapman University. I'm going to the Dodge College. Hi.
Okay. It's logging on right now. View your status update.
I committed to University of Colorado at Boulder. I'm literally getting emotional thinking about it. I did not think whatsoever that I was gonna get into this school. Weeks, days, hours, literally, you and I were hanging out the day I found out. I was talking to Ava about how I was just like, oh, I'm gonna commit to Kentucky. I was just like, it's gonna happen. I was ready to commit to Kentucky, and like, Kentucky, I love you guys so much, and I really loved that school. And not gonna lie, it was probably my favorite campus. I liked the weather there a lot. But I think that just at the end of the day, Boulder was really just like always my #1 throughout the application process, and finding out that I got in was a really emotional moment for me. And Ava was mad because I dropped her off 10 minutes before
I could have been there, but I wasn't. So yeah, so I will be going to University of Colorado Boulder this fall, class of 2023, and she's going to Chapman University. She's living 10 minutes from Disneyland. I will be living there.
I'm gonna get a year pass. And one more thing really quick, people hearing my grades and all that stuff expect that I'll be going to a prestigious school like Smith or an Ivy or something like that. And I think kids applying to college really need to let go of that name brand, because it really depends on how good that school is in your major, not how good that school is in general. There's a lot of things that go into college, and just because I'm not going to a huge name brand school doesn't mean I'm any less happy.
Yeah, no, and same with me. A lot of people, after I told them my statistics, were very shocked that I applied to easier schools to get into. I have a very low self-esteem problem, so it's like I assumed I'd get a no from everybody. I didn't think I'd be going to college next year. So to get all yeses, one, it kind of proved to me that I applied to too easy of schools. And then two, just kind of like, it was a nice little confidence booster, not gonna lie.
Will be.
So yeah, this is my cupcake from Boulder, and I would just like to say thank you for letting me in to your college and making me not feel like a total loser. Hey, Ava.
Oh!
Thanks everybody for watching. Remember to like, to subscribe, and if you're feeling extra ballsy, hit the notification button. Reminder, my comments are forever turned off. Keep your cupcake away from my face. Love y'all. Bye.
Bye.
Oh,
You let go.
My hand slipped on your fuzzy coat.
Okay, I'm ready. Ava.
I'm here.
Ava.